This episode of Super GG Radio is brought to you by our Patreon. Patrons of the show can get our Dogs of Super GG Radio newsletter, Super GG Radio stickers to slap on your closest PC or bag, input on what we cover, game nights with the hosts, and even a chance to win a copy of an indie we talked about. Not only that, but 90% of all patron contributions go to the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. Visit patreon.com/superggradio to learn more.
All right, what's the podcast protocol on playing Balatro while we're recording? Is that allowed?
I would say
I'm kidding. I'm not you.
What does that mean?
Thank you. I was waiting.
What did I do?
I'm not even going to start.
I've never played Skater XL while podcasting.
Just pretend this is a tech deck.
Oh, that doesn't count. That's fidgety fingers. Doing what? No. This is YouTube.
Yes.
YouTube.
What is that?
Oh, Beth's like,
Beth
you're
is
literally
like
watching Skater XL videos right now. And I'm like, that's YouTube. I'm not playing.
That doesn't count. It's me watching myself play.
You got called out.
I'm ready to go.
You done got played.
All right.
I'm ready to go.
I guess I'll bring us live.
Yeah, go for it. The end of the pod, the backlog blog, pick your poison. You can pick two of those three.
But only two.
You pick two.
You can do whatever you want. You're the host.
You can dance if you want to.
You can leave your friends behind.
That's
Yep.
something you can't do. Because your friends don't dance.
And if they don't dance,
Come on, Joel. Bring us home.
It was nice knowing you.
I was waiting for him to say, then they're no friends of mine, and then leave Discord.
That is a much better idea.
Yeah.
End call.
Yeah.
That's what they pay me for here. Speaking of which, what's good, Internet, and welcome to session 246 of Super GG Radio, where friends chat about video games and all things adjacent. I'm your host, still waiting for his first paycheck after these last 5 years, Eric Getty Gettinger. With me, as always, is... I don't think that's right. Alex Bro-Rona.
There we go. I'll take that. I thought I was going to say Obrona.
From
Getty, they're onto
accounting.
us. Getty. Getty. Burn everything. They know.
Burn what? We don't have an income.
We haven't filed taxes since 2003.
Joel? Guys, let me introduce our tax guy, Joel DeWitt.
I mean, I didn't illegally claim anything.
Didn't claim anything.
This seems like no reaction. I don't know what the problem is. Like, we'll claim whatever we think we can get away with, and then if somebody, tries to pin us for a crime, you just say, I don't know, and then it goes away.
I mean, technically,
I didn't understand.
Why?
Technically, if you don't claim anything, we're not claiming anything illegally.
That's
all right.
true.
All right. I don't like this whole illegally with the air quotes, guys.
I didn't use air quotes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't remember doing that.
Sure. Because if you do the air quotes, then it makes it questionable. All right. Lastly, we're joined by assistant to the regional manager, Alec Parks.
y'all are filing taxes? That's wild. I've heard some rich people, they don't even file those.
I believe we were given a percentage of number of people who don't file, right? Wasn't that like a surprisingly high number?
Oh, I believe it.
I think it was like 37% or something ridiculous. I could be making that up.
Great. Super GG Radio goes to jail. Check it out this fall. While
Those
we're
numbers were
incarcerated.
made up.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Super GG Radio commits tax evasion.
With Turnip Boy. Anywho, this week we get rolling in early adopters. You like what I did there, Alex? Get remade in the news. Then a secret beat list, bogus, whatever, in the backlog. You guys figure it out. You figure it out. All right, early adopters. It's our first segment of the night where we play alphas, betas, and games. Holy robots, Batman. Let me tell you about Copperfields. Copperfields.
Did
You
you
guys
get
play
the
this?
theme this week, Getty?
Did you guys play this?
I
Sure
did.
Everybody played it? It's a clean sweep?
Getty, did you get the theme this week? Was there a theme? Because I sure made sure it was.
This is not Sonic the Hedgehog. But boy, if you like robots in post-apocalyptic areas, Copperfields might be for you.
Or was it the unicycle game?
Uniracers.
Uniracers. There we go.
That's a game?
Yeah, Super
Yes.
Nintendo.
Use the Super FX chip.
It's fine.
How dare you? I like Uniracers. I'm gonna
I
watch
don't know
a
what
trailer
that
of
is,
Uniracers right
so.
now.
Please refrain from using YouTube, Alex. Alex, if you have time to YouTube, then you have time to explain in detail what Copperfields is.
Alex, search Uniracer speedrun.
Okay.
All right, I guess
Okay.
Alex is not going to explain it.
So-
All right, so what this game is, and the game is obviously called Copperfields. You are what feels like a unicycle robot with a potted plant on your head, and it's a Wall-E situation. You wanna keep that plant alive, and you are kind of racing through the post-apocalypse, doing loop-de-loops, but also avoiding spikes. The more you hit the spikes, the more you put cracks in your pot and make a real threat to your plant. And you're getting cool like mechanisms. So at one point I got a crank arm, and I would move. I would go to this gear and I would move switches back and forth and elevators up and down. So it was pretty cool that way. It had a good like the dark and grimy feel. It at some points felt like Sonic because you're racing and avoiding obstacles while trying to kill fast. But at the other the flip side of that, it had a little bit of Bennett Foddy, where if you're trying to climb and platform, your unicycle robot has a real like jank to it, where you can like jump and clip the edge and fall backwards down like 7 steps. So if you're like going step by step by step, but then you miss one, you clip one ledge, you go back down, you start falling. So it's very funny, and I'm about to watch the Shooting Racers speedrun.
Okay.
Back to you, Getty.
Back to me. What is this, my podcast? No, I'm going to
So, Alex, you didn't get the umbrella?
He didn't get the
Oh,
umbrella.
I
Didn't
didn't.
get that far.
I didn't. But tell me about the umbrella. What did it do? Because I do know that there was like you could water your plant to get your health back if you found like a leaky pipe, but sometimes the pipes had toxic waste and it would hurt your plant. So you wanted to avoid those.
Yeah, so that's exactly what the umbrella was for. It was to stop the drainage from hitting your plant while you walked
Okay.
under it.
That makes sense.
And it was controlled with the right stick, so while you angled and went and moved faster, you had to angle the stupid umbrella so your plant wasn't under the fallout.
So it was like a situation where you had to like pay attention on one stick moving around while also angling the umbrella on the other.
Yep.
A two brain situation. You got to use each half of your brain to kind of to use the controller. That's pretty cool.
There are
This-
also spaces where there's lasers, so there'll be robots shooting lasers at you, and you have to go between using the crank to lift the elevator and then stopping to block with the umbrella and back and forth to 3 different spots. So I didn't notice. Does it affect anything with falling?
Not that I saw.
No, I
No.
never
Okay.
had any problems with that. But it's overall, this definitely got on my wish list.
How you guys like those rockets?
Oh, those are good. Those are real good.
It took me a while to get the feel for it when you first like get dropped into that pit and it's like, all right, figure out how to get out of it. And then I was like, all right, let's see. And then I crashed a couple of times and I was like, that's not conducive to survival. And then you finally get up to the top and it's like, all right, better use it as a missile. Like, yeah, killed myself the first time I needed to do that too.
I probably spent a good 5 minutes longer there than I needed to, just trying to figure out the trajectory. But it's so unwieldy, but once you get the feel of it and can just zip and zoom between the different branches, it feels real good. And yeah, I would play a game with just revolving around moving with those missiles. Right? That's good stuff.
So, Joel,
Yeah.
did this make this on your wish list?
It will. I've been busy today, guys.
Busy?
Yeah.
What, do you like work or something?
Crazy, right? Who does
I
that?
don't know. I put in like 40 hours this week, so and it's
Slacker.
It's Thursday.
I put in 40 hours, and it's Thursday, but I don't work on Fridays.
I definitely did as well. I'm on call.
That doesn't sound right.
Yep.
What happens if you get a call right now?
I have an hour to call them back.
So what you're saying is that the longer I belay the podcast,
The bigger threat we have to me having to go, yes. That's
we
how
need
this works.
we need to leak his work number on the internet somewhere.
oh, we can do that, but nobody's gonna care or see it. So
That's actually been a thing where like during my brother's wedding there was multiple calls from the team calling the on-call guy and leaving fake voicemails.
Ooh.
Wow. You guys are mean.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Y'all are jerks.
A little bit.
Let's celebrate the love of two people by harassing a coworker.
Hey, my brother thought it was hilarious.
Better get Phil in here.
Yeah, we need receipts on that.
Yeah. All right, but Copperfields was not the only thing that we were zip-zapping and rolling around with this week. We also have Rollin Rascal. And I don't know how legally close you can get to Sonic the Hedgehog without it being a problem, but boy, Rollin Rascal does that. I don't even know how to describe him except for like
Sonic
a red
Adventure.
Sonic the Hedgehog with short hair.
Sonic Adventure.
Is that what you're going to call it, Sonic Adventures?
Yeah, it was Sonic Adventures with weirder camera angles.
I don't have any context for it, but I felt like this might be what people want from a Sonic game. Does that sound crazy?
Yes, but at the same time, so it is. Let's just real quick. It's got you're behind the back 3D. You gotta go fast. You jump off of springs. You spin dash enemies. You go into a ball, and that helps you move faster when going down hills. You could dash. You could spin dash, double jump, ground pound, all the things. You're going loop de loops. You might as well have been chased by a whale. Which is the classic moment. And I think that for me, that was like, finally, someone kept Sonic Adventure going, because we needed a Sonic Adventure 3. And playing this, I was like, I don't know if we needed another Sonic Adventure, because I was like, oh, right. It was real hard to kind of control those games. I remember controlling those games like, yeah, that was awesome. Also, I remember being like, it's like being in a car with no brakes, and you're just like, I sure hope I don't hit somebody, because this whole thing is gonna break, and I'm gonna die. And it brought back memories, but the bad memories, where I remember thinking like, oh, this is hard to direct and to control and to do anything successfully. So it brought back memories, but I don't think they were good ones.
I don't know if I felt like that. I quite enjoyed this, but maybe I just haven't had enough Sonic the Hedgehog force-fed to me.
Oh
over
no,
the years.
I loved this, but I also at times felt like I was completely unwieldy. I was like, I was double jumping and spin dashing and ending in places I did not intend to be.
I mean, that's what you always want to do, right?
I mean, I had a plan, and the plan very rarely worked. What did you think, Joel? Did you feel similar? Where did you feel on this?
So my experience in 3D Sonic is actually pretty limited. I'm kind of backstepping my way into that world by dipping in with Sonic Frontiers.
Okay.
And since then, I've been kind of chipping away. I jumped into Sonic Generations for a bit and got a feel for some of that 3D not too long ago.
Sonic Generations rules.
Sonic Adventure 1 is in my cart. from the Steam sale.
Dude, you might as well get the pack. Get 2 because 2 is also
Get all of them right now.
There's only 1 and 2, dude.
Get all of them.
The follow-up wasn't. The follow-up to 2 wasn't what you want.
Okay, but what I'm experiencing is like this open world space. 3D Sonic works really well because you don't need to worry too much about the precision that some of the other games require. And as I've stepped back in games, you can see the focus sort of narrows and narrows and narrows, where it's just one track pretty much throughout a lot of these levels. And that was a big distinction I noticed on this, is that the levels they put you in, there is a direct way you need to go, but there's things to explore in the areas. You don't have just one way. There's usually branching paths for a lot of it about how you go about. You can sort of ad hoc create your own way, and I found myself doing that, kind of the way you scramble and fly by the seat of your pants. There is an ability too in combat where you can kind of possess an enemy character and use their abilities against other ones, which is a neat addition, but I don't know about you guys, I mostly zoomed by all the enemies, so it kind of was a non-issue either way.
Or I drop kicked them
That
right
too.
in the face.
Yeah, that's like the butt slam.
Yeah.
Zoom in thing.
And the whole, like, you can roll up into a ball and constantly beat in a ball. The unapologetically doing the spin dash, charge up stuff. It is Sonic, except with some seemingly added layers and maybe a little bit more expansive tracks. But I'm with Getty. I enjoyed this. It might just be my limited experience with Sonic 3D as well. But
it's for me that like I ended up like I was like, oh, I'm going so fast, and then it's like, oh, they tell you, they're like, bounce off of this trampoline, bounce into that trampoline, bounce off this spring, and then dash across this pole. And I'd be like, oh, great. And I would bounce on one trampoline, and then my butt stomp wouldn't like auto kind of, because there is like a very generous lock-in. Mm-hmm. So your butt stomps kind of automatically locks into the center of the trampoline, but somehow my camera wasn't pointed the right way, so it would point and it would butt stomp into the spring, send me backwards. I'd end up in the water, and then I'm like, okay, well, I'm just like double jumping, like trying to like survive and get back up to where I like any kind of semblance of a level. And I made it. I beat the level by doing that. It's just that's not the fun part. The fun part is when you're moving fast and you're hitting all the marks and everything is clicking. Mm-hmm. I just happen to like again be completely out of control, which is again it could very very well could be a skill issue.
I was going to say it.
I'm not discounting the fact that this very well could have been a skill issue. I'm just saying that's what I was experiencing.
Nice. No, this was fun. I actually felt a little bit of the opposite, that I didn't have to do it the way that it was suggesting. Like Joel said, you could ad hoc. You could do it one way, or you could try and do it another way. And sure, if you did it like the way that you're describing, Alex, it probably looked cool as hell. But I was just like, all right, I fell in the water. Like, hop, hop, hop. And then like go somewhere else. And I was like, yeah. Yep. I'm fake Sonic.
It was real good fake Sonic.
Is this where Sonic would work?
Yes.
Is it?
I've played in like a janky, not licensed Sonic game.
Wonderful.
On like an old Android phone. I'm like, this isn't licensed. This is very illegal. It's illegal to play. It's illegal to have on my phone. I'm going to try this out.
Does it feel as wrong as when like you go to a gas station and you hear the Sonic ring when they?
Oh yeah.
that always makes me uncomfortable.
Well, the worst part, it was also like playing the Sonic music, but on like a really bad like kazoo. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh yeah, they really are they're just stealing wherever they can at this point.
Man, you got to do what you got to do to make it out there.
In the world of Android bootleg Sonic games, yes, you do what you have to do, I guess.
That's how I live my life.
Bootleg
a quarter mile at a time.
Oh, yeah.
Get it?
Mm-hmm.
Get it? All right. Hashtag not my Sonic. Hashtag time for a break. Get us out of here, Alec. The news with Super GG Radio, now with 11% more remakes. There's at least 2 this week. At least that's how I counted it. I don't know if that's true. Guys, I don't know what I'm doing here. Right now I'm
There's
just
a lot of
scanning
remakes.
in I'm just scanning in cards to see if anything's worth any money.
Remake or remaster?
The ones that you added are remakes.
Or remaster?
No, it's a remake. It's
Or
made.
remaster.
You know what? All right. So last week, while we were recording our podcast, towards the end of it, we found the sad news of Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, had passed away. And a very influential man. I don't know about you guys. I watched Dragon Ball growing up. If you haven't played any of the games that he also did some of the character design for, and he's even got Sandland, which is dropping later. Is it this month? It's soon.
It's this year for sure.
Yeah. So this was devastating for us here at Super GG Radio.
He was
Yeah,
in
it
the
was-
60s, right?
He was.
He was young. Or,
Yeah, it was.
You say that because we're getting old.
yes.
I remember Dragon Ball Z being on Toonami, which, as you do, I mean, we all that's what we did. But I remember that it would never go past the Frieza saga, to the point that we never saw the entire time we were watching his Goku turning Super Saiyan, like, ever. We waited so much and they never showed it, and they finally did eventually, but long after we had, because we would go over to Alex's friend's house, Anthony.
Ah, yes.
Shout out to Anthony, who had bootleg VHS tapes, like the real, like the thick volumes that were they had Xeroxed just Dragon Ball Z images onto paper and just shoved it in the cover, and we watched them all there. So that's my Dragon Ball Z, is watching all them that way. And I remember doing something very similar for GT. And so I actually had that was a soft spot for me. I think it was either at my dad's house or maybe Anthony's house, where he goes, I have the last episode of Dragon Ball ever. And it was the final episode of GT. And I watched
And then Super came out, and it was no longer the last episode of Dragon Ball ever.
it was like 20
Super.
years ago. To be fair, it was like 20 years ago.
GT? Was it?
Yeah, it was a flash forward where it was like Goku's great grandkid,
Yeah.
also named Goku, and he looked like child Goku, so they didn't really have to stretch the animation there.
Why'd you call him Child Goku? Not Son.
Son
Yeah,
Goku.
I guess you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
but at
Oh
the
my-
end, he sees his great grandfather. So like he comes down and talks to him, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then that's kind of the end.
Hey, Alex.
Yes,
It's closer to 30 years than it is to 20.
there we go. Yeah.
February
Well,
96.
we didn't watch it. No, but when we watched it, it wasn't new.
Yeah.
So we watched it like 20 years ago, I assume. No, wait. Yeah, around maybe like 21 years ago. It wasn't that. It wasn't like 30 years though,
No.
Many years ago.
Yeah.
because we
That's-
were in high school.
That sounds correct.
Yeah.
Well, still very sad news. So we'll try and lighten things up here. Try, being the operative terminology.
The impossible pivot.
Akuma coming to Street Fighter 6 this spring. We could have done better.
You made this choice. You picked the pivot. Akuma's cool. He's a great character. I don't know if I love what they've been doing to him since I checked out at Street Fighter 3. Like, I remember I played a lot of Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. Even the first 2 iterations, I played them all. And then I kind of checked out. I came back for Street Fighter 5 a little bit, and then I had a good little love affair with 6. When did he become just like a lion and have a lion's mane?
It was 5.
I don't know.
It was 5
it
when
5?
that started happening. Like they introduced like
The hair
that
goes all the way around.
Yeah, like they've been slowly since 3 turning him into more beast-like features and this Hulk of a character. And I mean, if you go back to something like Street Fighter 3 or Street Fighter Alpha, series, he's bigger and more imposing than like the Kens and the Ryus, but he's not absurdly proportioned, right? And I mean, I know this game has become even more absurdly proportioned over time, but yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, those pecs are popping, man.
I don't love the redesign. Based off of 5, they're gonna have a bit of a fresh moveset probably compared to what we're used to. But
yeah, and I am seeing it. Yeah, 4 he looked completely normal.
Yeah,
and then 5 is when they gave him like a full just like lion's mane of bright red hair.
Yeah.
What about the back of his head? Would you describe it as ridiculous?
Party in the
Probably.
back.
Oh, I feel like he's party all around, and then like probably maybe business a little bit.
No, like, girl, the back of your head is ridiculous.
Is that a thing people say?
It's a thing. It's a thing. Getty has.
I'm hoping that Alex has seen that at some point.
It's a thing. Getty says. Like he's
No.
just said it.
Now I got to go on the internet and find a video.
I think we all regret it that he said it.
I'm not Alex. I can't
Don't
use the
DMX
internet.
wolf growl or dog growl at me.
I'm
Yeah, we don't
good.
want his tax
I'll give it to you.
problems.
Yeah, we got our own. Thanks, Joel.
R.I.P. DMX.
Children of the Sun goes 1.0 on April 9th. Children of the Sun. That's that crazy sniper game by it's a Devolver joint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That thing is bonkers.
It is, and we talked about it on. It was this year. We talked about it on an episode
No,
of Super GG Radio.
impossible. We don't talk about games.
It made me uncomfortable, and I'm going to play it.
Did you want me to request it?
Yes.
3 copies.
Nailed it. Next.
No. Okay. Paper Mario Thousand Year Door Remake gets release date of May 23rd. Remake.
Daddy, are you okay? You're coming off a little spicy tonight.
He's so mad.
Remake.
Is anybody but me getting this game?
I probably am as well.
Okay.
I want to. I liked the Paper Mario Origami King, and apparently people didn't like that and say, "Hey, it's no 1,000-year door." So I'm curious about what that means.
They need to shut their mouths.
I don't know if it'll be launch day for me. I have already a pretty impressive backlog, which now me and Joel have now pot committed to Kirby and the Forgotten Lands.
Yep.
It is
This game,
currently ready to go.
the Paper Mario series is funny to me because I got into it from Origami King because my son's, it's like his favorite game. So I backstepped into Mario RPG, thinking maybe my son would like that. He does not like old classic turn-based combat.
Oh, he didn't like it?
Well,
No.
it didn't stick with him. Let me put it that way. So,
Okay.
if I get this year, it's for me. And
Yeah.
yeah,
You don't let him play it.
no,
You say this is not for you.
this is Joel.
And then let him
only.
play it later.
I played during COVID. I remember I played through the first half of Paper Mario, the first one for N64, and I thought that was pretty good. A little bit difficult, but and a little grindy. But I thought that was pretty good.
Thousand
And then you
Year
play
Door
Born of Bread.
is a good game. It's not going to live up to the hype that people are giving on it.
Really?
That just saying. I know
Okay.
that. I know that's a hot take.
Are you willing to bet your PlayStation 5 on it?
You mean the one that Alex owes me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
If I play it, then I'm just gonna say it was the most hyped game. I am so hyped. This is.
I don't know.
everything the
It
hype
is
said it was.
a remake. Keep that in mind. It's not a remaster, so there is potential that they could improve on some of the systems. You know, maybe make them more friendly.
Nah.
You don't think so?
Quality of life.
All right.
Does this game need quality of life? Is the question really?
I mean, I'm looking at it with rose-colored glasses, but I'd say no.
No. There's Alex. Alec was weighing in.
I'm trying
guys.
to think functionally, other than giving you like the Final Fantasy options of no damage or you know easy win type stuff. The actual dungeons and puzzles and stuff, nothing's too obtuse.
Okay. I don't know. I didn't play it. I remember first Paper Mario being kind of like a little hard because you had to get the timing, and then Origami King. That's just fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, there was definitely timing in Thousand Year Door, but I don't think it was as required.
I think that those games, that's kind of the thing, is the timing situation. But I definitely with original Paper Mario, I just remember like feeling absolutely underleveled.
Good.
And
You probably
your
were.
options are very limited. So like you can't, there's not a whole lot of like, oh, you get more, you can use more items, or because they have like inventory limitations. Oh, you can only hold 5 things. Well, okay. And you have to do this amount of damage in this amount of time or they murder you. It's like, well, okay, crap. That's really, So it's you have to grind. And that's normal. It's a 90s RPG.
Different
So we'll
times.
see. Yep.
Speaking of remakes, Luigi's Mansion 2 remake getting released on June 27th. Does anybody want to talk about Luigi's Mansion?
I hear that the Luigi Mansion games are very good, just very long.
Brok of Damage Boost is very excited.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Dark Moon is called.
I'm
Dark
happy
Moon.
for him then. Next up. Really?
Skip
You
it.
could put skip it.
Cowabunga collection delisting in Japan. Oh, that's nuts. It's a Cowabunger, guy.
It's a Cowabummer.
Cowabummer. Bunga.
Why is this getting delisted?
Yeah, why? Who put this here?
Joel.
I don't know. I just saw it was happening.
That's
All right. Well, that sure is news.
get rid of it.
Hey guys, let me tell you.
It's working.
No, I'm moving. I'm moving already.
Moving. You did this, Joel. You did
Hey
this.
guys, let's pour one out for Spider-Man: The Great Web, which has been canceled.
So this was part of the Insomniac leaks, and if you played Spider-Man 2, there is a little bit of a hint that there's a multiverse. We all know the Spider-Verse situation.
What?
With those movies.
Spoilers! I didn't see either of those movies.
So now they had made a game. There is actual gameplay footage and a trailer, and that's been leaking this week. Lots of new information about it. 2 separate trailers, character designs, and premises. With the Insomniac leak, a bunch of hackers stole a bunch of data, including future projects, projections, money projections, even including developer personal information. We don't this is obviously awful, but the Insomniac did not pay the ransom, and thus the data is slowly leaking out.
Yeah, because they don't negotiate with terrorists.
The one thing here is that this did look very cool. It would be fun to play multiplayer as, considering that you are already hanging out with an NPC Miles or Peter Parker, tag teaming crime. And they also had the really good portal technology in Spider-Man 2, so imagine that now in multiplayer. It could be a lot of fun. But they just did not have the resources to be able to maintain this type of game and continue to work on the projects they were already working on. So, I mean, the trailer looks cool. All of your favorite Spider-Men are there for the most part.
Spider
and
people.
Spider people, yeah.
Spider people.
Come on, get with it.
Yeah, Gwen Stacy is prominently featured. Spider-Gwen. So
Spiders everywhere.
And it is voiced by Lori, was it Menethol or whatever her name is, from who voices Spider-Man in the games.
Nice.
So there was already like voice acting.
All right. Persona 6 is rumored to be 95% complete, releasing in 2025. It's one of my favorite words to use in the news.
What?
Rumored?
Rumored, yep. Yeah, this comes out of a notable Atlas leaker saying that they're pretty close to ready to start showing it off and then have a 2025 release. So we'll probably see some information, maybe Summer Game Fest or something a little bit later. But they are pretty well into the process, and they do these cycles more and more now. They will make a game and then continue to either re-release or add like, oh, here's another version bonus content, or here is even a side game. With Persona 4, they had a fighting game, they had a dancing game, they had all these they just keep making these side games. And so in that case, I'm ready to move away from Persona 5. I didn't even play all the side games, but I just feel like it's just been the focus for so long. That's why Reloaded was like such a good refresher for me to remember being like, oh, right, there are just so many characters and so many like people to enjoy, like so many personalities and people to like. So I think that I'm happy about this just because I think that it's Persona 5 had a good run. What do you think, Eddie? Do you think that Persona 5 had a good enough run for you?
Sure. I played everything.
What I'm saying is that you did not. Did you play Persona 5 dancing all night? Did you finish that one? Or the fighting game?
I didn't finish it.
Tathaga?
It's downstairs. I stole your copy.
Oh, okay. That's where that is. I was looking for it recently.
Yeah, he was like, oh, I'm going to play this. Doesn't exist in your house.
Nope. It's okay.
Yeah, I'll trade you, what is the game that you have of mine?
Oh, yeah. I should install that. Just knock that out.
What is that thing? The Ubisoft Greek
the
mythology
Ubisoft.
thing? I don't remember what it's called.
I know what you're talking about.
Something Phoenix Rising.
That's what it is.
Yep.
Phoenix Rise.
But I think that I am ready and excited for that world again. I'm excited for the music. I'm excited for the art. I'm excited to keep doing it again. I am also probably excited to play it twice. Whatever the second version is going to be.
Yeah, you are.
Joel, if there's a Persona 6, will you play it the first time or the second time?
None of the times.
I will probably play it the first time once the second time comes out. How about that?
No, you're sure going to play it the second time. You're going to play the updated
I'm
version
going to
with
play
That's
the
the
original
Joel way.
version, as all you suckers are paying full price for a second version.
Got it. I'm on board. Okay.
He's going to get it on sale during the first cycle, and then by the time we're playing it for the second time, Joel
You
will
wanna borrow
think
my
about
copy?
opening his copy.
Maybe.
Yeah, you could probably borrow my copy. But
Which
I'm
one?
excited
You
for
have
like
3 copies of Persona 5, right?
I have 2 right now. 3? No, I have 3. I have 3 copies of Persona 5 Royal.
Wow.
You have Royal?
Yes. Of Royal. Why?
Okay.
I have a PS5. I have a PS4 version, a PS5 version, and a Nintendo Switch.
What's the difference between the PS4 and 5 version?
There's no
Better
difference.
graphics.
There's literally no difference.
No, there's no difference. No, so okay. When I bought it for PS4 because it came
And
out
the
for
PS4 version came with the free upgrade to PS5 version.
But that's not what happened. Because then,
What had happened was
just recently, the internet had the collector's edition for large percentage off of what it was, including the little trunk, and it comes with like the tarot cards and a PS5 copy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to sell back the PS4 copy, but I still have it currently. The Nintendo Switch copy is just because I like
in the steel case.
Physicals.
Right.
Oh, both of them were steel case, to be fair.
All 3 of them?
No, not the Switch one. But no, they those are I have those. I'm happy with them. I like to have physicals of those. So like I still have my Persona 3 FES PlayStation 2 game. That's fine.
Okie dokie. Oh, we got new stuff, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Overwatch 2 has a Cowboy Bebop collab.
I turns out I'm not gonna go back for this, and then I look and I'm like, oh look, I still have Overwatch 2 installed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious if there's more than just these like 4 costumes though.
I kind of doubt it.
I'm gonna look it up,
Like
but
maybe
I think
minor cosmetics or emotes.
Yeah, that's more what I want to see about. But I'm gonna look a couple of bits up. If it's just because it's McCree, which his name is different now, dressed as Spike Spiegel. There's the big Russian lady dressed like Faye, the hamster and the hamster balls dressed like like Ein,
Mm-hmm.
and the hacker girl. Maybe the hacker girl is Faye. One of the or the hacker girl is.
Ed.
Hit me. I'm blinking.
Ed.
This is
Ed.
Ed.
Say, this is your show.
I know.
Yeah,
it's
Alex.
I'm tired. Long week. But no, that's the. So those are the 4 costumes. Oh no, wait. Someone else. Yeah, is Jet, right?
Sure.
Yeah, someone else.
Doomfist?
I don't know
Is
the
it
Overwatch
Doomfist?
characters, so
Oomfist.
Yeah, that sounds
Doomfist
fine.
might be it. Yeah. But it's
whatever
it's 5
Doomfist
costumes.
is.
I'm interested into it. I hope there's more than that, but we'll see.
I thought Alex had like command of this knowledge, and he was gonna just plow through that, and we stumbled. We need more rumors.
All
Yeah,
about
I
the
have more.
rumors.
I filter rumors heavily out because Getty gets real mad about rumors. You get so mad about rumors.
Just want, if we're gonna talk about stuff, then we got to pick a lane here. We either talk about real things or we talk about fake things. All right.
No, but
We
if
can
you
talk
mix,
about fake things all day.
If you mix in the real stuff with the fake stuff, then nobody will have an idea what's real, and you'll capture everybody.
I'm
I
gonna
also
just
don't-
walk out this week.
I also
I'm
don't
ready.
I also don't post stuff that like unless it's like, oh, this is pretty credible. Like there's like a bunch of news outlets saying like, well, this is probably a thing. I don't like because if I go into subreddits, well, I'm posting wild stuff like wild rumors, and I'm not doing that.
Sure. Okay.
Henry
Midnight.
Cavill in the MCU makes no sense.
Midnight Ghost Hunt. We played that on this podcast. It's going 1.0 on March 21st.
It's been in early access for a long time. It definitely it kind of came out before that Ghostbusters game and before Phasmophobia, but it kind of it definitely has like been one of those.
Yup.
It's fun.
So, good for them. That's exciting. Alex will be attending Summer Game Fest on June 7th this year.
I didn't say that.
Keeley
I said
3
it came out with a date.
No, I
Yeah.
thought Keeley 3 was... Is that what this is?
Yeah,
Summer Game Fest, not games. It's game. Singular.
Games.
there's only
Nope,
one game.
Singular.
Only
you're
one?
supposed to game. It's even lamer than the explanation. It's really lame.
Well, that's dumb.
Yeah, it's real dumb.
Whatever. Last thing we
no.
got here. Are you just going to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say that me and Joel are still figuring out what is the logistics of us being able to go for Nintendo World Report, but they gave a date. How about that? They gave a date, and that's exciting.
Nintendo World Report. That's an affiliate of Super GG Radio.
I think we're affiliated with them.
Yeah.
It's a subcategory.
I think we're a subcategory. If we're gonna be frank about this. Next.
Look, all I'm saying is that like we're adjacent to legitimacy, you know.
Yeah. We just want to. We're getting hints of their light.
All right.
Hey, my review was featured in a hey, look at all the scores we got for our game.
Stardew Valley. Still a game. Still
This is fun.
exists.
This is
People
fun.
still like it.
Yep.
Harvesting left to right. What is it? 100
milliseconds.
Is it milliseconds?
So apparently in the
Somebody did a study.
in the hardcore Stardew community, they have found that if you harvest left to right, they've been saying for years apparently that it's faster, and it's been a heated debate in the Stardew community. And as it turns out, the developer there's been a very large Stardew update as of recently, which is very mysterious for a lot of people. But with his new game coming out soon. But he came out and said, "Oh, by the way, you guys were totally right. Left to right is definitely faster at like 100 milliseconds. My bad. I'm fixing it now."
But by like how over what period of time is it 100 milliseconds faster? Is it every time you harvest something, or is it?
It's your harvest.
Like every time you pluck something out of the ground?
Yep.
That could add up.
I mean, people are speedrunning, man.
How do you speedrun Stardew Valley?
You're trying to get to the credits, man. There's credits.
You get good.
Yeah, you get to the time where you have to go see your grandfather's ghost.
Spoilers?
No, that's not a spoiler.
Stardew is like, what, 2018? Not even. It's 2015.
It's way.
Yeah,
we're outside of the realm of
If you've not beat it
spoilers.
by now, that's on you.
2016.
There you go. I was close.
Yeah.
And don't you find out like pretty quick that you can talk to him anyway?
Your grandfather passes away and leaves you his farm. Start game.
Oh, I never tried
but
to
you also
reunite with the man, though.
You don't. He says, come talk to me in 3 years. Is literally the first, like, hey, here's my farm. I'm not feeling so good. Hopefully I'll see you in 3 years. And then it says, your grandfather passed away.
Dang, dude.
Yeah. That's how, start game. I don't know what to tell you.
It was like Happy Up.
Okay.
Yeah, like Happy Up.
All right. Time to move on to my favorite segment of the podcast, freebies.
Freebies.
Freebies!
Freebies. All right, we got three.
No.
3 freebies this week.
Yep.
The first one. Ready, Alex?
I am.
Are you sure?
I came prepared early this time.
The Bridge on Epic Game Store.
The Bridge is a logic puzzle game that forces the player to reevaluate their preconceptions of physics and perspective. It is
life.
Isaac Newton means MC Escher. Manipulate gravity to redefine the ceiling as the floor while venturing through impossible architecture. Looks like black and white hand-drawn. I think this is pretty cool, and this is on the Epic Game Store.
Ooh. All right. Next up, Deus Ex Mankind Divided over on the Epic Game Store.
Look, y'all, you should have heard of Deus Ex by now.
Deus?
Deus? Deus? Is it Deus? Deus?
I think it's Deus.
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 Deo?
Do.
Deo.
All right.
Deo.
Yeah, Mankind Divided was the last game.
Just like, if you didn't hear about it, you could go Google it.
Yeah, but this is the last game in the series, and they're probably not going to make another one. So,
all right, last one. Go Zombies on Steam.
okay, well, let's read the description here. Sweet, raging, fast zombie revenge! Exclamation point.
That's it.
It's a game where you're a zombie and you point yourself in a direction and eat somebody, and then they turn to a zombie, and then you slowly just control a swarm that's slowly moving forward and eating everybody. This game looks rad, and I am currently installing it. This game looks rad. It looks like it came out this year, a less detailed Carrion or Ape Out.
Oh.
Good old Ape Out.
It's top down, but so it looks a little like Ape Out that way, but it controls like Carrion because you're controlling huge swarms. Go Zombie looks rad, and I'm checking the how long to beat on this.
Because that's
no,
the most important part of it.
It's too new. They don't have how long to beat because it came out
A week ago.
a week ago. I'm installing this now. This game looks rad.
All right.
But the big question is it Steam Deck compatible?
Ooh,
Only one way to find out.
Is that a thing? Does that say it like somewhere?
It usually
You
does.
just install it on your Steam Deck and see if it works. If it's so new.
Here's a first review. That's weird. My meds should have worn off by now.
All right. We did it. We made it through the news. Let's take a break. Back with the Backlog blog, where we play games that are the snuffliest and buffliest of all of the melody of Moominvalley. Alex and Joel played Snufkin this week.
You know, Alex, right before we started off the break, mentioned that both of us played this game. I was really hoping you were going to deliberately avoid it. So I
Really?
wouldn't have to talk.
I heard that Alex gave it such a glowing and positive review that his blurb was used in a major news outlet. It's a rumor.
How much do they pay you,
That was
Alex?
that was a very confusing statement for one. Like a news outlet? What does that mean? I really like this game. Joel, did you like this
It
game?
was fine.
End of discussion.
No, I love it. I liked it.
Loving this interaction.
I liked it.
No,
It's a good game. Yeah.
This game made me cry because it was just very wholesome, and it does a lot of good things. First off, I had never heard of Moomins, which is it's like a weird. I can't remember the country right now, but it's like a Swedish version of Winnie the Pooh, where these Moomins are trolls, but they look like hippos, little cartoonish hippos. And they have like a whole, like, there's characters. There's like a lot of them, and it's well known. There's a book series, and there's cartoons, and there's movies of just like Moomins. There's Moomin Troll, Moomin Mama, Moomin Papa, and they have like human friends who come and just like hang out. They get the little adventures. There's Stinky, which is just like a big fluff ball that just tries to get everyone to do crime, which is like means he's really cool. And it's a whole world that they built out, and the game is like a top-down open world. You're this character Snufkin, who disappears whenever the trolls are going into. They're going into what's it called? They're going into hibernation. And when they go into hibernation, he's like, "I'm gonna go. I'll come back when you guys are out of hibernation." And when he comes back, his best friend Moomin Troll is like been like kidnapped, and so he's like, "Well, I gotta go save my friend," and that's the big whole open world adventure. For me, what it came down to was that it just was like, "Oh yeah, my best friend Moomin Troll," and I'm like, "I don't know who that is," and then they're like, "Oh hey, Moomin Papa, Moomin Mama, what's going on?" And it keeps like meeting new people, and everyone's like, "Oh, good to see you again, friend. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. How you been?" And there's like a whole history there. So I was trying to play it, and I just kept getting like more and more surprised at like, oh, this is. So I did a Google search, and that's where I like, oh, okay, this is where these people all exist.
Okay.
And they do a lot of good things. It acts as almost like a child's first like Skyrim. They just have the world, and there's different things to do, and just dozens and dozens of side quests. Your character Snufkin has a flute, and as he goes, he gets other instruments, and he plays those to interact with the world. And that's kind of how the game plays. You go around, and you're obviously trying to find your friend Moomin Troll, and you're just walking around and doing side quests, and you can kind of go in different directions, but ultimately there's only one path forward. And while I say Skyrim, I mean that it's kind of open, but also since it's for like kids, it very much is like it's like the map is real small, but you still have like ways to explore and look around and do different paths and stuff. So it really was fun that way, because I get really overwhelmed in a big open world, so having like a smaller open world works better for me. And then just in general, it's Winnie the Pooh, man. It's just wholesome. It's just wholesome hanging. You're looking for your best friend at the end. They're like, man, I'm sure glad we're friends. And I'm just like, oh, I'm so happy that they're friends.
There's a fun little stealth element to parts of the game too, because part of the story is you dealing with these park ranger type people who are trying to develop this valley wilderness into more of like a civilization, and you're kind of fighting against that. So they'll put up gates and like shrubbery mazes and stuff, and they'll have signs like don't do this kind of signs littered all about. And
like literally like don't dance or something like that.
Yeah, and your job will be to be Solid Snake. Like you're sneaking around, avoiding the cones of the guards walking by. You'll use your instruments to cause distractions. So one case you might use the flute to get a bird to start attacking them. Another case you might hit, I think it was your drum, at a crate full of dogs, I think, and they'll bark and cause a distraction then. And each time that you finish those zones, it has a fun little animation of Snufkin pulling out all the signs,
tearing down
the gates, pulling stepping stones off, and you leave, and it's just this dilapidated, empty space again.
That where nature takes over.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And it is the cute storyboard kind of, or children's story resolution that you would expect. Like such a simple solution to a very tough problem that just somehow works for everybody in the end, and everybody's happy and satisfied. So it is a feel-good game. It's low stress, very simple stuff. There are little peaks of excitement where you're being chased down by stuff or having to quickly make a few jumps into space, but it's not frequent, and it is very take at your own pace. And it was 4 hours, maybe 3-4 hours total.
Yeah, and it doesn't have it doesn't really have a whole lot of consequences either. Like you get caught in the guard situation, and they like, oh, and then he goes, get out, and then they move you like a quarter inch across the screen. Nice. Like, you move back a little bit, and then it's like, okay, great, I'll try again. Caught again? Okay, just move me back a little bit. Okay, like it doesn't even start you at the beginning of like the section. It's like a foot outside of that guard's range again. It's like, oh, okay, there's really no consequences.
There's a section where you're being chased by something called a Brok, which is basically this giant like freeze monster thing. Is that the right name of the character?
The freeze monster? I don't remember that one.
Early
Brok, you say?
Early on, there's a...
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
You're in the pitch darkness. You're suspected that Moomin Troll was chased off by this thing, and it looks like... what does it look like? A terrible mixture between like Grimace and a Wookiee. Like it's uncomfortable.
I posted a picture in the chat.
But you know, it's a similar thing, and it's chasing you, and you have these spaces where you have to like walk through mud and slowly catching up to you, and then it's just, you know, it's such a good game. Like it really is a very good game, and just a simple, pleasant experience, and I would recommend it to anybody.
And for me, it kind of made me think about like there's been a conversation around like, oh yeah, like, you know, I have a young kid, and it's like, well, what would be the game that we'd play? And you know, of course, there was like the Bluey game, but then a lot of people are like, it's very shallow and not really that, like, it's fun if your kid likes Bluey, but it's not a good game like in general. And then this kind of came out, and I was like, me and Rob could probably get into some Moomin. Like we could find some Moomin videos on like Amazon.
No, Alex,
like,
I'm gonna need you to train her in party animals.
I mean, I feel like the dexterity's there. I feel like Moomin is the training wheels to party animals.
All right. I'm going to need her to be trained. We're taking her all the way to the top.
Yep. But yeah, so I think that this might be the first game. It's a very fun, low stress thing. And then especially if I like, because I'm looking at this and there are Moomin like videos, so I'm like, well, we should probably get into Moomin. Like that just seems like a blast. And so if we watch all of those, having the game on top of that would just be like a real good time for all of us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. How are we looking on episode time? I think we can talk about one more game.
Hit me.
Tonight, Alex finished Final Fantasy 1 Pixel Remaster. We've all played that game. Well, I haven't played the Pixel Remaster, but I sure have played Final Fantasy 1. What was your party, Alex?
It was a knight, a thief, white mage, and black mage.
Classic.
So,
are you going to go back and play it with 4 monks?
No.
Oh, that's easy mode.
Yeah, I hear that's easy mode. What I wanted to talk, why I put this on here is because Joel already went through when he beat it last year, just kind of like the baseline conversation about Final Fantasy Pixel Remastered and just the Final Fantasy 1, right? But for me, one of the things he had brought up was, man, they sure are obtuse. And I agree, it's very obtuse. You need to know what to do. It's very specific. But also it does, being somebody that wasn't there as a kid, I beat it before, but I definitely didn't understand what this was doing. And now I get it more. This is Dungeons and Dragons. And that phrase is, oh yeah, of course, dum-dum. But that was never for me until the last, 3 years? I didn't play Dungeons and Dragons until, the last 3 years or so.
It's been, 5.
5 years? Okay, I didn't want to say, it's been, 7 years. No, I think it's 3 to 5. Yeah, 5 years. And since I was not privy to Dungeons and Dragons, and now having, a base understanding of it, and then playing Final Fantasy, I definitely am like, oh, right. Okay, so the reason why it's so obtuse is because, like Dungeons and Dragons, you're supposed to go to each town and
talk to people.
Yeah, and not even talk to people, more like just try to oh, they said that there's a robot in this mountain. Weird. I should write this down.
Yeah.
Because that robot will probably come into play. And that's what, you see, right? Now you're kind of getting it, right, Joel? Now it's oh, that's what this is.
Right.
Okay.
It's like when you used to play really old RPGs and you'd have to scribble down a map or something like that on paper to
and
keep
start
track
writing
of.
notes and start because this person also said that there's some underwater submarine somewhere, but you gotta figure it out, find out where, and then you go to that person. They're like, you can't go down there unless you got this thing, and you're like, well, okay, I gotta find this thing, but also I have no experience doing that, so I guess I might as well just write it down and then play the game, and eventually I will run into the thing, right? Mm-hmm. I do feel like some of that is a little bit tuned poorly because some of those things aren't key items that are found. Like dungeons, of course, you can find lots of gear and items, but some of those are key items and they're not in positions for you to find them. They're just kind of well, I hope you scoured every last nook and cranny, otherwise you're super boned.
Gotta open all the chests.
But how do you know if you did? Unless you are going through.
You're not gonna be super boned as long as you. Okay.
No. I can give you some of the items because some of those items are only found in dungeons, but only if you find every single one of them. If you don't find this one item, you can't go to the Sunken Temple. If you don't find this other item, you can't go somewhere else. That is where I think it's a little bit. That, and I also the tuning of some of the combat is pretty. I feel like it's a little. I was just hitting A and doing all attacks and just wiping the floor with enemies with no issue, and then it's go fight Chaos, and I go to fight Chaos, and it just decimates me, and I'm this feels and I'm in the hardest dungeon. That doesn't feel right. But
Now imagine going through this back in the Nintendo without ethers.
yeah, and that seems like hell. And then of course, like, you get the idea, like, the speaking of ethers, right? The spell slots, right?
The
Spell
Vancian
slots.
system.
Yeah, so you get how many spell slots you can use for level 8 and level 9 level spells, etc., etc. Even just a class upgrade feature, right? The upgrading your class is straight out of Dungeons and Dragons. So I now get it more. I had a better appreciation of it. It definitely was like an aha moment to replay it now. I just think that's pretty cool to me that I never put that together. That there was like just so much of it was just straight out of the book, So that's a pretty fun game. Could be tuned a little better, but I will say, fast forward is great.
Yep.
Double XP is great. Quadruple XP is better, but I was sticking pretty close to not so I would go through and I would grind in a dungeon until I felt like I was the appropriate level. Then I would turn off encounters, and then I would go to the boss. So I would explore, of course, but I would go through and just grind first until I was like, oh, I'm pretty much almost like one-shotting all these enemies. I didn't have quadruple XP, so I was trying to make sure I put in the appropriate amount of time to grind. And then once I was one-shotting enemies, I was like, all right, let's turn off encounters, let's go through the dungeon and get to the boss. So I didn't do the entire like, oh, this is all easy mode. I definitely put in some work, but chaos was definitely like, oh crap, this is the check. This is the check I needed because I was finding most things too easy.
Humbling.
Yeah.
Thank you for having that experience for us.
Do you remember that fondly, Getty?
Oh, I'm a pro. I don't need to remember it.
I don't even know what that means.
Get good, Alex. All right. Everybody's good. We can move on.
Yep.
Sure.
Fantastic. We're going to go to one last thing. This week's one last thing is brought to you by personally victimizing your friends.
Where's this going?
I don't know what that means.
Feel like I'm personally victimized every week. Nah, I was extra sassy this week, so I apologize, guys. All right. My one last thing. So I found out last week that my Steam Deck battery was dead, and I had to buy a new one because it was outside of warranty, and I successfully installed the new battery to my Steam Deck, so I will check out this Steam sale, figure out what I want from it, and then reward myself with a new game so that I can actually play it on there.
Let's share each other's carts.
I don't think I can do that. Alex.
Let's just pull up mine real quick. Mine is... I've been waiting on, I know for a fact... oh man, this is having problems loading. Oh no.
I'll share it, but I'm going to do the Joel, and I'm going to take a picture of my
Oh,
screen.
don't do that. Don't do that.
Instead of take a snip.
Where's mine? I have mine over here. I'm still trying to find mine. Here we go. Okay. Mine is...
Oh, jeez.
Atomic Heart. I've been waiting for that to go sub $30, and so now we're at 27, which isn't bad. That's like the Bioshocky type game.
Okay.
No Sun to Worship and Under a Star Long Cold. Those are from an indie developer I found that does like PS1 level graphical like short-term experiences that end up being really good. I'm a big fan of his now, so I've been waiting for these two. Curse Crackers. I've been waiting for that for a bit. I just haven't yet. And Night Signal Entertainment, Night Signal. That's the game that is from the people who made Home Safety Hotline. It was the first
why
game.
didn't you just get those at the same time?
I didn't do it. It was a poor choice.
It was like an extra $2 or $3 when
that's on me. I'm admitting defeat here.
I have that installed. I need to open it. It looks terrifying.
I'm gonna play it for sure. And then I'm kind of like wavering on Dordogon, which is a small indie artistic painting type game. Hell Pie, which is like a Mario 64 type game. Pizza Tower. That's where I'm at. I'm kind of debating those.
The Pizza Tower. Mm-hmm. Joel?
I got Helldivers. Helldivers is pretty
like you
good.
Purchased it?
Yeah, this is the first, I think it's the first new game I bought this year. Yeah, I can't think of any other ones. So, yeah, it took...
We'll play some... I'm going to play Helldivers 2 with you.
You didn't have to purchase Balatro, right?
No.
That was just me.
Yep.
Okay. That was a very good purchase. I'm not going to...
Yeah, Balatro is a real good purchase.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I won't say that I didn't need it. I needed it. All right, Alec?
Yeah, my cart keeps fluctuating between $7 and $90.
It's a real wild ride.
It is, because like I keep going back and forth. Should I buy Stranger of Paradise? Maybe not. Should I buy Chained Echoes? Should I buy Star Ocean? Maybe not. I'm definitely going to buy Return to Castlevania for Dead Cells, though.
Makes sense.
Okay.
That's a good choice. I think that you should play Strangers of Paradise just because that it's the prequel to Final Fantasy 1 in a real dumb way with cell phones.
With cell phones.
And
the amount of time that so there's cell phones, but it's not like
and fedoras.
You don't use them.
And fedoras.
It doesn't make sense. Like a lot of it is nonsensical.
And new metal.
But
new metal.
It is a competent, forgiving, Souls-like game.
Ah.
Also, do you like new metal? Do you like Linkin Park?
Yeah, occasionally.
There's a lot of that kind of stuff in the soundtrack, which is real weird for this type of game.
It doesn't make any sense. I'm telling you, it's completely nonsensical.
But so I should buy it and play it.
But it is the prequel to Final Fantasy 1.
I played it. I enjoyed it. It was challenging at times.
I own it.
But it was not... I would say that it is not the hardest Souls game that I've played. So, take it for what you will.
What is the price point on that, Alec? If it's sub 10,
I think it's 23.
Yeah, it's 24.
Okay.
Is that one worth it? Getty, you think 24 is the price point?
I'm telling you, I enjoyed it. You can swap classes on the fly. You can change your gear. You can create your character how you want.
That's always kind of
the
cool.
Other characters isn't great, but I mean, by the end, I was just like swapping between. If I remember correctly, I had like White Mage and then just a tank spec, and I would wail on the boss, and then I would like swap over and heal, and then like damage it with some spells, and then just keep doing it back and forth. But yeah, as long as you like senseless Souls games, you'll enjoy it. Okay. That'll be it for this week's episode of Super GG Radio. Before we go, you can find us on Twitter at Super GG Radio. Oh, I said Twitter. Oh well. And twitch.tv/Super GG Radio, where Thursdays, much like tonight, are our podcast night. Come, sit, stay a while, listen to us talk about rumors. Lots and lots of rumors. Maybe you'll want to catch us on Tuesdays, where Joel is definitely playing video games.
Sure,
on the internet.
I can't do it anymore. I give up. I will beat Disco Elysium. I'm not streaming it anymore. I'm not enjoying it. No, nobody's watching anyway. It doesn't matter.
Are you gonna move to?
What should I move on to?
Time
next?
of death. 9:55. March 14th, 2024.
I hear it.
Noted.
Massive. Wait, did you come up with a decision?
I think he should play Mass Effect.
I think you should play Mass
Then
Effect.
it's Mass Effect.
Okay.
May God have mercy on your soul.
It's not. Yeah, I love Mass Effect. It's a good series.
As long as you can carry the saves over.
I think the Legendary Edition's on Game Pass. And that includes all 3, right?
Sure. Yep.
Okay, then I should be set.
Or you could probably get it on Steam right now for like $9.
You know what?
I was in
It was something obscene the last time it was on sale on the.
Let's see.
Is that playable on the Steam Deck? Well, now.
Mass
It's
Effect
$9.
Legendary
Okay.
Edition is $9. Yeah.
All right.
What did I say?
And-
8?
Yep.
Legendary Edition is on Game Pass.
Yeah. But $9, well worth it. All right.
Agreed. I paid 20.
Wednesdays, Alex's Monster Hunter and Chill.
Yep, I did it last night. I was it's Monster Hunter Rise and Grind.
Monster Hunter and Chill.
That new Monster Hunter Now update was pretty good, Getty.
I've been playing it for days.
I know.
2.
I should play, yeah, I was gonna say,
Yesterday and
I
today.
should play some more because it was really good. That season pass is dumb though. It's not helpful.
You need to buy it for yourself. It's only like $10.
For cosmetics, right? Yeah.
It might be more than $10.
I don't care. I'm not gonna get it.
All right. Oh, sorry. If you'd like to reach us with questions or
Ready?
input, our what?
Just shout out to everybody that I performed an interview with the developers of Chicken Police, The Wild Gentleman, and that will be going live at some point in the future. I have that recorded. I have all the audio. I just have to edit it and put it up. So that'll be a thing.
Do we have a Batsu beta breakdown?
Also have a Batsu beta breakdown. So that is also in the pipeline.
Alright.
We got content for days, baby.
No, we don't. But I'm gonna call not it for the next beta breakdown.
That's fine. I have an idea.
Good. I'm
No,
on
I have
3.
I have a really
Y'all other guys can do them. All right, yeah. Alex has been a sport and was on the first 3 with me, and Joel, we suckered him into the last one, so
No, I have a plan.
he's got another 3 on deck. All right, if you'd like to reach us with questions or input, our email address is mail@superggradio.com, and provide us a review on iTunes or the podcast app of your choice. Thanks for listening, and good game, Alex.
GG, Getty.
Good game, Joel.
Good game.
Good game, Alec.
GG.
Rumor has it that Alex is in second place.
That's just not true.
Doesn't matter, it's a rumor.
That's not how that works, Getty. You
Yes,
have
it
no
is.
credible-
It's exactly how it works.
No, what is it called? That's
There's no substantiating proof to point otherwise.
That's
Because
wild
Joel-
accusations. That's
Nope.
wild accusations. as
No,
opposed to
because
an actual
Joel
rumor.
has not posted his games. So it is...
Slander?
Nope, it's not slander either. Why would
no,
it be
slander's
slander?
No, I'm just throwing words out there.
Okay.
What is the Getty Batsu .wave?
Oh yeah, I
Getty
threw that in a
accidentally-
bunch of spots. It's
Yeah,
like how I took the picture of Joel a couple
Yeah,
weeks
he's been
ago.
doing
and
that too.
Yeah.
I started putting it in different folders,
Yeah.
and nobody said anything.
Okay.
This is supposed to be a place of trust, Getty.
It's not.
I'm trying to keep everything nice and formatted.
Anarchy.
He doesn't want to help organize. He only wants to make it harder.
I am chaos.
Cowabunger.
Cowabunger.
Cowabunger. Oh, bunger.
Now I can think about his bunger.
Yeah.